This is the Sig Spear LT. It is the 11.5-inch chambered in 5.56 piston driven system made by Sig, folding stock. It's kind of the new iteration of the MCX. Have about 600 rounds through this gun so far. Going to give you some shooting video and then final insights on the rifle. Inch and 5.56. So overall, so far, I'm very impressed with the rifle. Like I said, about 600 rounds through it, 0 malfunctions so far. Obviously not a super high round count to be talking about malfunctions. I've shot it suppressed through all the rounds. It's actually managed to stay pretty clean through the entirety of that. I really like the factory trigger that it comes with. It's got, you know, a relatively short take up here, a nice crisp break, and then a really short positive reset, which I'm a big fan of. I like the lightning curve in the trigger. I found so far that the recoil impulse has been really nice. It's a really soft, flat shooting gun. I like the grip that they chose to use. It's a Sig Sauer made grip. It's got a nice little nub here on the end that kind of helps put your hand in the right spot every time. At least for me, I have a fairly large hand. Sometimes things like that can be a bit of a nuisance, but I actually like it on this. The rail is nice. It's not too big. It's got this nice little indent here. Kind of helps me slide my hand up to the right spot when I'm ready to shoot. Ambi safety, most of the firearm is ambi. You got ambi mag release, and then again over here, ambi bolt release. I find this to be a little interesting. I don't necessarily love or hate the ambi bolt release. It's kind of just there. It's recessed in nice that you're not going to accidentally hit it, but it's also kind of not the easiest to get into. It's not bad though. It's, you know, it's fine. Price point on the rifle is around $2,500, $2,600, depending on where you go. I think for the price point, you really can't go wrong. I mean, would you choose this over a regular AR? Probably not, unless you already own other ARs and you're looking to get into a piston-driven system. But outside of that, if you're looking to get into your first rifle, you might just want to go with something maybe a little bit cheaper, more parts readily available for it. Not that there aren't parts for this, but with that in mind, you know, every gun store is going to have parts for an AR. You're not going to have to go get a special piston bolt up here, you know, or piston, not piston bolt, but, you know, there's going to be more parts available for an AR-15. Now, I think this shoots a little bit softer than an AR-15, but, you know, it doesn't have the same operating system, obviously, as an AR-15. Does have an AR trigger and safety. I believe the charging handle is also from an AR. This is a pistol, so this came with the brace from Sig, and this brace is god-awful. I will be replacing this. I will probably be SBRing this gun and putting some form of stock. Haven't decided what I'm going to go with there yet. But overall, Really enjoying this rifle so far. It's been fantastic to shoot. I would recommend purchasing one if you're in the market for one. If you're in the market for just any 5.56 rifle, probably save yourself a couple bucks. Go get something nice. You don't have to, go buy a PSA or something real cheap like that. But, you could even go get BCM or even Daniel Defense for cheaper than this or around this price point. I think, if you do decide to pick one of these up, you're going to be satisfied. You're going to like it. There's nothing that I can really complain about with this rifle yet. It's mostly been positive. Some issues to note that other people have found that I did not find with mine. Some people had barrel flex issues where they were getting a bit of inconsistency with accuracy, where they'd have, a few good shots, dead on, same point, and then one flyer, but it wasn't necessarily them pulling it, and they found that they had some barrel wobble. Mine is pretty tight in the lockup here. Not sure if they addressed that issue or something like that, but mine has been fantastic. Another thing to note, if you do want to change out the muzzle device, they rock set the fuck out of these things. You can heat it, let it soak for days on end, impact, whatever. Something will get it off. I really appreciate that this upper is one piece up until this point up here, so you have a ton of rail space up on top. You can mount optic, magnifier, you could run an LPVO, you could run your PEC, your D-ball, whatever the fuck you want to run up here. You can do a whole lot on this rail and have it stay zeroed and not have, like with other ARs, well, with AR platform, everything past the upper is going to be on a free float rail, which, I've never had any problems with zeroing stuff on it, but, if you're doing some serious use with it, you could run into those kind of issues. I'm a big fan of the safeties, the stubby safeties. They're 90 degree, not 45 or anything like that, but they're really easy to get to, nice and tactile. Mag release in a good spot. It's pretty much basically almost a regular AR lower, but you'll notice some key differences here. In this portion right here is not a standard lower. Now they do sell a conversion kit where if you want to get the upper, and then you can just add basically this back plate on to your lower that you already have and make that a Sig Spear LT. Overall, I would say that this is a good product. I really have been enjoying shooting it, and you would not be disappointed to spend the money on it. There are definitely cheaper alternatives for a reliable and well shooting 5.56 rifle, but if you want something that has a folding stock and you don't want to get into something like a law folder that isn't very proven, I mean, some people have used them for a while, but they have not been around as long as, say, something like a piston driven system. I mean, this is, I think, technically the 3rd or 4th generation from Sig of an MCX platform, and that's pretty much what the Sig Spear is. Overall, fantastic rifle. Highly recommend if you're in the market for one and you're debating buying one, go ahead, go pull the trigger, or even try to find a range that has someone offering, rentals on them and see if you like it. I absolutely love shooting this thing so far. Thanks for watching.